Oi you, listen up. I'm going to have my say.
G'day guys, it's John from That's My Say again, and I'm back with something I read today about what could be the law finally catching up with one part of technology. I guess it's the way the law is, it's a reactive thing, so they're not going to look for problems that can turn up in the future and do something about them before they happen. It's usually something that, oh, we've got a problem here, we've got to do something about it, so they react to situations, and unfortunately it's always been the way the law is. Its whole development has been a reactive thing to different situations, and I guess it's the way it'll always be. But this particular thing is basically about sexting, which is pretty much a thing done by teenagers where they send images of themselves to other people and that sort of thing. And the situation as it is at the moment is they're basically charged with producing child pornography, and if they pass on to other people, distributing child pornography. And it's obviously not an ideal situation. The consequences of that are they become listed on a sex offenders register. They can go to jail for a long time. I think it's something like 10 years. And they're pretty much, when they go to court, they're pretty much tried as if they're pedophiles, which really they're not pedophiles. What they're doing is more stupid than anything else. But I don't think what at the moment the Victorian Government is looking at reviewing the laws and making laws a bit different to reflect the severity of the actual crime that these children, that's what they are, these children are committing. So they're obviously not going to be registered as sex offenders if what they've done is just take photos of themselves and pass them on. But I don't think they're going to make it legal. I think it'll still be illegal, but it'll be a much lower charge. Probably be a fairly minor misdemeanor sort of offence. Who knows? I guess it'll depend upon the age of the person when they did it. Obviously, I've heard of like kids as young as 12 and 13 doing this sort of stuff. Obviously, they would be dealt differently to someone who might be like 16. So I guess that's yet to be seen. But Victoria's reviewing it. New South Wales and South Australia are keeping an eye on what Victoria are doing, but unfortunately the federal government isn't going to do anything, I guess, which is as usual. They're saying, oh, it's a state responsibility, so we'll just let the states do it instead of trying to coordinate something nationally, which, what do you expect? But yeah, as it stands, the penalties are just too tough. The kids doing this, they're not pedophiles. By and large, there may be some kids that are doing stuff, and that would be totally different if they're taking photos of other people, especially with them not knowing about it and passing it on. I imagine this would be much different. But the sexting is kids taking pictures of themselves and passing it, and adults do it too. I mean, there'd be people 40 and 50 years old doing this as well, taking pictures of themselves, but that's a totally different thing because they are over 18, and it's a totally different situation. And it sort of makes you think, like, why do these kids do this? And people go, like people say, and even I think, don't they realise what they're doing? Years down the track it could come back to haunt them. Even sooner than that it could come back to haunt them. And the way it stands now is, even though they've done it now and they've been kids, if in however many years' time, it could be 40, 50 years' time, if the law's not changed, and even if it is changed, it might not be retrospective to cover what they've done now or in the past. But it can happen 40, 50 years later. Someone finds this picture that they took and someone goes, oh, hang on, they were only 15 when that picture was taken. They've taken it and they pass it on, and then there's a possible criminal charge. So it could be years later. There could be still criminal charges laid on these people. It'd be a shame for something like that to happen, like especially when they've taken pictures of themselves. It's like I say, it's not really a pedophile thing, even though I don't think they should be doing it. Why does anyone want nude pictures of themselves flying around the place? Yeah, unless you're some sort of model that does it for a job, but even then why do you want it there anyway? But yeah, I don't think, and like I said, people will say, oh, why do they do it? Well, why do teenagers do anything? Because they don't think of the consequences, they only think of what's happening at the time. If they're having fun at the time, that's all they think about, and unfortunately it's a skill that you've got to develop or that you only develop as you get older. It'd be nice if they could develop it a bit younger and make some better decisions. But you learn by your mistakes, don't you? Hopefully these people do. Yeah, so what do you think of this? Do you think it's something that needs reviewing? Do you think they should be treated that way and be put on the sex register as it stands now and be given jail? Or do you think things should be much more lenient on these people? Like I said, I don't think what they're doing is really being pedophiles. Some people might argue that just producing it is bad enough, but I mean it's not their intention to do that. I mean their behaviour isn't predatory like a pedophile's behaviour is. Yeah, so what do you think of this? Do you think it should be a lot more lenient on these teenagers that are making videos of themselves or pictures of themselves, whatever they're making, and sending them to their boyfriend or girlfriend and that sort of stuff? Or do you think the law should stand as it is and be more of a deterrent to stop these kids from doing it? Be interesting to hear. Like I said, I think it should be a lot more lenient. I think they should be treated as in a different class of offence to what it is now. But I think it should certainly still be illegal. But I think rather than making it the penalty, the criminal thing as such, it should be more of an education thing to hopefully try and teach them, and even if it's just a few of them learn that what they're doing is silly and has consequences beyond tomorrow, then maybe they wouldn't do it, and maybe they can convince a few others to do it. So yeah, it sounds like in some places the law does slowly catch up with technology. Unfortunately, like I said, it's always a reactive thing, and the law will always be a little bit behind technology, and sometimes a lot behind technology. But yeah, this is one case where it's finally showing up. Okay, I've had my say. What's your say? Okay, till next time, take care.
Well, that's my say. What do you reckon?